Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. Today I'm excited to talk about a topic that hits close to home for us, and that is purchasing a home in today's housing market. My husband and I are currently in the swing of getting our house on the market and searching for a new home. So I thought it was a great time to go over what I've learned in the process and also inform you of what you can look forward to if that's something you ever decide to do down the road. So today I really am hoping to drive home the point that steadily rising home prices and increasing rates make buying a home to be a very savvy financial decision. Um, the housing market is crazy right now. That wasn't the case 10 years ago. Um, you know, back then home prices were at an all-time high back in 2006, but values dropped dramatically a few years later during the recession. So when I bought my first home that I'm in the process of selling now back in 2008, it was during the recession. I got a grant for being a first-time home buyer. Again, all-time lows. Not only are the values increasing now again, but favorable rates and also a number of lending options um, to allow purchase of property is proving that now is a far better time to buy than to wait. According to the National Association of Realtors, millennials make up the largest share of home buyers. So I thought that was a really interesting fact because I think, a lot of us in this class do count towards that. So it's actually cheaper to buy a home than to rent in 41% of major US cities. So again, I know my mortgage now, I'm paying a lot less than a lot of my friends are in rent. So that's money in our pocket, and it's something really, to look at. Um, again, my husband and I are in the process of looking, but currently, right now, it's a far cry from when we were first shopping back in 2008, because right now we're fighting against a low supply and a high demand. So really anything that goes on the market is gone before we have a chance to get our offer in. So I'm going to go over some things here. The main points that I want to drive home is, first, I will describe the benefits of homeownership. Second, I will explain the home buying process. Third, I will talk about today's market and the rise and fall of real estate. Now, with those things in mind, let's determine the best reasons to buy a home. The first thing that I want to push is that homeownership creates stability both financially and physically. Financially, homeowners have much more wealth than renters when they get to retirement age. One interesting thing that I found out is that the average value of assets owned by older homeowners is $273,000, whereas the value of older renters at retirement age is only $3,000. So, huge nest egg that you could be sitting on by investing in yourself and a home. Home ownership also financially outperforms stocks and bonds. The returns for home ownership are greater than the returns on a bond index and the S&P 500. So again, you're investing in yourself, you're going to get that back. Physical stability, obviously you're buying a house, you're going to stay there. But the 2013 American Community Survey found the average length of residence for homeowners in their current home was 11 years, compared to less than 3 years for renters. So myself, I've been in my home for a little over 10 years now. I'm comfortable here. The only reason why I'm leaving is because we've outgrown it. Unlike friends of mine that rent, it's kind of at the end of the lease, what do I do? Do I lock in for another year? Do I find something else? So it is a lot more stable to own a home than to rent. Um, Also, homeownership has proven to bring a substantial increase in social benefits for communities. So it's proven that homeowners do, increase charitable activity. They have a greater awareness of the political process. There's lower teen delinquencies and better health outcomes. Now that we've looked at the benefits of owning a home, let's discuss how to buy a house. So, buying a home really is easier than you think. First, I want to talk quickly about the requirements, and then I'll talk about the process of how to buy a home. So, before applying for a loan, make sure you have a decent credit score, a 2-year history of employment, money saved for a down payment, and low debt to income. One thing also that you want to keep in mind is to have a budget for extra costs. This can include closing costs. It can also include inspections. So always have some sort of backup for the unknown costs that you're going to come into. You also want to determine how much house you can afford. Lenders recommend that people look for homes that cost no more than 3 to 5 times their annual household income. By sticking to those guidelines, you know that you're not going to get in over your head, and you will be comfortable, not strapped for cash. How to buy a home? You want to find, first and foremost, a trusted real estate agent. A knowledgeable agent can give recommendations and negotiate a fair price. My agent that I'm using now to buy a house, she's not afraid to, knock on doors. If she knows that somebody is interested or has ever made a comment about wanting to sell, if she thinks it's a house that would fit my needs, she's contacting them and asking, are you still interested in selling? So they can really go to bat. So I can't stress enough using a trusted real estate agent. Also, after getting your pre-approval letter and finding a home, you want to follow these guidelines. Get the home inspected, have the home appraised, and close the sale through a closing company. After learning how to go about buying a house, here are some things to look for when dealing with the housing market. So the rise and fall of the market, I've talked a little bit about. It really is, highs and lows. The Great Recession, which began in 2007, had the greatest influence on the real estate market in the past decade. The reason for this decline was because millions of people lost their jobs, and this caused tons of foreclosures and defaults that ended up crashing the housing market. The reason for crashes is because when the supply of homes greatly surpass the demand, the housing bubble breaks and the market falls. So this is when we see a huge drop in value and prices. That's the opposite of today's market. So today, the economic upswing combined with a shortage of affordable housing has allowed the housing market really to regain that value. The annual average earning growth has remained below 3%, even as house prices rise more than 5% over the last few years. So, the value is much greater than what people are getting for income. So again, it's really hard to, find that value and jump on those houses that are in your budget, which is, again, what I'm kind of running into here. But house prices are only forecasted to keep going up. They're forecasted to rise 4.3% in 2019 and 3.6% in 2020. So, as you can see from everything that we've discussed today, buying a home truly is a sound financial and personal investment. Just highlighting what we've talked about, home ownership creates stability both financially and physically. Buying a home is easier than you think. The rise and the fall of the market greatly influences when and how you can buy. And the major point that I want to get across today is that steadily rising home prices and increasing rates make buying a home to be a savvy financial decision. Really, it comes down to now is the time for the housing market. You deserve to invest in yourself with a place you call home. So I hope everybody learned something, can take away something. I appreciate your patience with me going through this, and thank you so much for joining. Bye.